everyone, this mini lecture is about writing haiku. So you've already watched Mr. Sato's video about haiku and sort of how to write it, what it is, and you'll remember that it's a 3-line poem, and there's specific rules about how many syllables per line: 5 syllables for the first line, 7 syllables for the second line, and 5 syllables for the third line, for a total of 17 syllables. So this is a very, very short poem. Another one of the rules was no rhyming. Another rule was that it needs to be about nature. And one more thing that I remember right now is that there's supposed to be, you're supposed to indicate the season was another thing. And another thing was that there should be, with the last line, sort of a surprise, a twist. Kind of a twist. That's what you're looking for, a twist. Called a volta, right? In Italian, a volta, it's a twist, a turnaround, right? You turn it around on the reader. So I started working on my haiku, my demo haiku, and I was thinking about seasons, and I have this thing that California really has 5 seasons, because we have winter, spring, summer, fire season. No, winter, spring, summer, fire season, fall, then winter again, right? Fire season seems to me like a season. So I wanted to write about that. So I started out with thinking about the thing that I was thinking about was the orange sky, when we had those horrible days when the sky was so dark and even orange. And then if you remember that the sun would set and it would be this really bright pink in the orange sky. And I was thinking about how the other thing is we're trying to convey an emotion, right? Some sort of emotion. So I was thinking about how that orange sky made me feel anxious. It felt threatening to me. So I was thinking about that, and so I started to think about, well, okay, what am I going to say? So this is not exactly what I started with. I'm going to show it to you. Originally I was thinking threatening, orange sky, but then I counted it, threatening, that's 3. That only leaves me 2 more for the first line. Orange is 2, sky, so I would have 6. So I had to think of something else. So I start to wonder, well, how do I reduce syllables? I need 5 syllables. And then think about word choice. So threatening was one thing, but we have this other word in English called menacing, which is scarier than threatening. Let's put it that way. So I changed threatening to menacing, and then I had to do something about orange. Orange is 2 syllables. It's not going to work. So what can I use instead of orange? So what I came up with was, I always forget you can't see it that way. So what I did was change orange, which is 2 syllables, to burnt, which is only 1. I figured it actually went better anyway, because now we're literally talking about something that's associated with fire. So that works a little bit better. Now we understand, at least maybe, that we're referring to burning and fire. So now I have 5 syllables. Menacing is 3, burnt is 1, and sky is 1. That makes 5 syllables. So I'm good with that. Oops, that doesn't work. Put that there. Okay, now, I was thinking what looks so cool, even though, it's horrible, is that when the sun is setting, it's just this round, hot pink ball, which almost looks like a lollipop to me. even though there's no stick. It's that round hot pink. So I want to identify what I'm talking about. Sun, a hot pink lollipop. This line wasn't too hard for me. I thought lollipop was going to put me over the syllables. But no, we've got sun is one, is one, hot is one, pink is one, and lollipop is 3. So I've got 4 plus 3, I have 7. All right. This was actually my first thought about the sun setting and looking like a lollipop. So you see we have this hot pink and the burnt sky, the orange and the pink. And then what I wanted to think about was how you've got that hot pink ball. And of course, actually from my side of the bay, I don't really see it set into the sea. But if I were out on the beach, I could see it set into the sea, right? So I could have used sets, right, instead of drops. Sets into the sea. That would be one way. But then I started to think about how this is fire. And I need to do the turn, the volta, right? The twist. And so I'm thinking, okay, the water is going to put the fire out, right? So this word drops and this word sets, although this is true and it's kind of cool, to me that doesn't really, these words don't give the feeling that I want to give. So I came up with some synonyms. I looked on a synonym thing. I looked it up. And so I don't know. Can you see that? Yes. So these are the synonyms. What I thought of was extinguish. Extinguish means to put out, right? So I'm thinking the sea puts out the fire, right? There's also snuff out and stamp out and suffocate and smother and quench and douse. Okay, and then there's these over here: choke, drown, out, stifle, trample, blot out, and blow out. But none of these really work. The ocean isn't going to blow out the sun. Drown, of course, because we're, oops, no, I can't see it. Drown works because we're talking about water, right? But that wasn't really the feeling that I wanted. I didn't want that violence of drowning. We already have the menacing and we have the burning, and now I want something that's a change, right? So I'm going from, maybe I want to go from violence. I want the volta. I want to change it. So I'm looking over here, snuff out, okay. But I came to the point where I said, well, I like douse. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I like douse and I like quench. Douse means to throw water on it and put it out. Quench means, like, quenching your thirst is when you satisfy your thirst. So I'm kind of torn between these two right now. Going back down to my poem here. But you see, if I, now, remember in Mr. Sato's video, he talked about the way words sound. So if you look at, it's hard to write and do this at the same time. If you look at doused or quenched, they look like they have 2 syllables, right? Because of the ed on the end. But if you think about the way we say it, we don't say doused and we don't say quenched. We say doused and quenched. So it's almost as if we wrote, oops, sorry guys. It's like burnt, right? Doused, like that, like burnt, 1 syllable, okay? So, but then, you know, here I have my perfect 5 syllables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops into the sea. And if I change it to doused or quenched, well, I'm not going to say doused into the sea. That makes no sense. Quenched into the sea also makes no sense. So I need to completely change this line if I'm going to use one of these words. And I need to add a syllable, right? So how about, I kind of like quenched. Quenched by, and then I thought, well, I'm using color here. I'm using color, so how about using color again? And also it provides the contrast for the volta. So I'm going to change it to quenched by the blue sea. And here's my final product. I actually ended up changing quenched to smothered because I realized that when we put out a fire, we actually smother it. That's one of the ways we put it out. And that made more sense to me than saying quenched, although I do like the word quenched. That meant I had to drop the article, the, right, that we had before, because smothered is actually 2 syllables rather than 1, like doused or quenched. So smothered is 2, by blue sea, that's 3. If I put the, I'll have 6 syllables, it'll be too much. So the final poem, menacing burnt sky, sun, a hot pink lollipop, smothered by blue sea. And that's it for my haiku. I hope you've enjoyed this little mini lecture. Bye.